does that even mean, Bauer's Game Corner?
Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm back again today for another game review. And today I'm very excited to check it out. Batman Almost Got Him from Cryptozoic. This is for 5 to 8 players. Age is 15 plus. It'll take about 30 minutes to play. And in Batman Almost Got Him, you are going to be recreating the fantastic Batman animated series episode Almost Got Him, in which all the big bad guys from Gotham City have gotten together for a poker game, but secretly, Batman has also infiltrated the poker game. As the bad guys, you are trying to figure out and subdue Batman, but as Batman, you are trying to blend in with everyone else and slowly but surely subdue all of the villains. It is a hidden role game. It requires a moderator a la Werewolf. It tries to push a little bit of poker in there, but does it do it well? Let's open it up, and I'll tell you what I think. Alrighty then, we're going to take a look at what's going to get inside of Batman Almost Got Him. So first and foremost, we got our handy dandy rule booklet. It's 17 pages, double-sided. It's got a couple pictures and illustrations. For the most part, it is just text, and it's pretty well done. If you're the moderator, this really should answer just about every question you have for the most part. Now, with that being said, this game does require a moderator, and I'll talk about it more in the pros and cons, but you really need to be on your game when you are the moderator. And so we'll show you how the game works, and then we'll go into the components and how it plays and all that good stuff. So in this game, everyone is going to be at a big poker game. And this is actually based off a very popular episode of the Batman animated series. And at this poker game are going to be a bunch of bad guys. Harley Quinn, Clayface, Killer Croc, Ventriloquist, Bane, Penguin, Two-Face, Joker. All the bad guys you know and love from the show are going to be at the poker game. However, one of these bad guys is actually secretly Batman in disguise. Now, what Batman is trying to do is he is trying to subdue either 2 or 3 of the bad guys at the table. If he does that, then he wins. If the bad guys are able to subdue Batman, then they win. So everybody that is a bad guy is going to be working against Batman, except for Catwoman, but we'll talk a little bit more about Catwoman in a minute. So let's go over the components, then we'll get into the gameplay. So component-wise, you're going to get a standard 52 deck of cards. You're going to have different suits on it, but you know, ace, king, queen, 2, 3, 4, all the stuff you're used to seeing. But there's also going to be 2 Joker cards in the mix, which are that. They're just wild cards, which can help you complete your hand. Now, unlike regular poker, you're not going to be trying to create the best hand or get full houses or stuff like that. You're actually going to have a specific hand that you're going to try and accomplish, which will be on a hidden identity card that you are going to have, a secret roll card. So you're going to have 2 rolls. You're going to have your face up roll that everybody sees, and then you're also going to have a face down roll, which will tell you what kind of hand you want to collect and what special ability you can do during the blackout phase. Now, as I mentioned, one person is going to be Batman. So let's just pretend that Two-Face is actually Batman in disguise. So you would have this Two-Face card up, but then you would have this Batman card down. You look at your card, and you would now know that if you can get a hand that is a 2-pair, which if you're not familiar, they do include a little handy reference card if you're not familiar with poker. If you can get a 2-pair card, then during a blackout, you can subdue one of the bad guys and get yourself one step closer to winning the game. But at the same time, if you get subdued, you lose the game. Everybody else is also going to have a secret roll. You might be sneaky, need 3 of a kind, look at a random secret roll card not being used this game. That is actually very valuable, and I'll tell you about that more in a second. Watchful, if you can get a straight, then choose a player, protect yourself and that player from being subdued this blackout, which can come in handy big time sometimes. Straight, choose a player and subdue that. That is only if you're playing with 7 players. That one is a crazy card. Catwoman in disguise. Now, Catwoman is the other special role here. So Catwoman can win by herself. If she is subdued by a vote, and we'll talk more about that later, and she reveals a full house, she automatically wins the game herself, which is really kind of cool. However, if she's subdued by Batman, then she then becomes Batman's partner, and you win if you were still subdued when Batman wins. So she is not with the villains. She's either all for herself or for Batman. It's a really kind of interesting combination there. There's a healer, which can fix subdued players, and we'll talk more about that later, but you're going to have different roles. And what you really need to know is you are going to have a face-up card and a face down card. Now let's take a look at some of these face up cards, because once per game you are going to each get your own special unique ability you can do. So once per game, discard a jack. Each other player with a joker card must reveal it. If none do, the dealer searches the deck for a joker and gives it to you. Ra's al Ghul, search the discard pile for a card of your choice. Very useful. All you got to do is get rid of a king. Once per game, discard a queen, immediately go to the blackout. That's a wild card one right there. Scarecrow, discard a 5, choose a player. That player cannot activate a hand during the next blackout. So if you suspect someone, if it's potentially being Batman, that's a good one to play. But each player is going to have their own unique one-time special use ability. When you use it, boom, you're just going to tap it. Pretty simple. So next, you're going to get a couple reference cards. There's a round sequence card, which is mostly going to be for the moderator, and it also has, moderator instructions on the back. I like the fact they included this, especially when you're first learning the game. And they also have a list of what all the different roles do. Now, I wish everyone got one of these. That really annoys me because it's important to know all the different roles that are potentially in the game. So I was really disappointed they didn't have numerous ones of these. I'll talk about that a little bit later. So last but not least, we have the Brains token. This just means you're going to be going first, but you also have a crucial role in potentially subduing Batman or screwing yourself over and subduing other villains. So let's get started, and I'll show you how it works. So on your turn, you're going to start with the person who is the Brains, and everyone's going to have 5 cards in their hand. So I'm Batman. I need 2 pair. This isn't a great hand for 2 pair. So on your turn, you get to draw 1 card. You can either draw this face down card or one of these cards from the discard pile. So the obvious choice here, probably take this 2, and then now, since the game is cooperative for the most part, this is where Batman might want to blend in and pretend like he's a team player and say, hey, does anybody need a queen, a 4, a 10, or a 7? Does anybody need one of these cards? And somebody next to you might be like, oh, I need a 4. So you play down the 4, and haha, no one suspects you're Batman. Now, the next player, they once again get their choice. They either get to draw from here, 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 or here, and they would probably take this 4, which they asked for, discard something else, and you're going to rinse, wash, and repeat until everyone has had a chance to draw a card and then discard down to 5 cards. And then once it gets back to the Brains has the opportunity to accuse one person of being Batman based on, their role card. So that might be like, I think Clayface is Batman. So what happens now is, if anyone else seconds that and says, you know what, I think Clayface might be Batman as well, then you go to a vote. How the vote works is everybody sticks out their thumb, except for Clayface, sticks it to the side, and then on 3, when the moderator counting, you're either going to put it thumbs up to subdue him or thumbs down not to subdue him. If you subdue him and it's Batman, congratulations, you've won the game. If you have subdued a villain, though, what happens is this villain is going to lose this special ability. They're also going to lose their face down special ability. They're essentially neutered for the game. It counts as one of the subdues that Batman needs to win the game, and then you will go to what's called the blackout phase. So you really don't want to do that, which is why you don't want to go around, accusing people all willy-nilly. Now, what happens during the blackout phase is very interesting. Everyone is going to close their eyes. And one thing that we said was make a lot of noise at the table, kind of bang your hands and scrape your cards around, do all sorts of stuff like that. And now the moderator is going to go and he's going to be calling out one at a time the different characters by their name. Harley Quinn, Clayface, the Scarecrow. And what they're going to do is they're going to deal out 5 cards every single time. They're going to say, Harley Quinn, would you like to use your blackout ability? And then you'll make noise, and either Harley Quinn will or will not use her special ability. If she doesn't, then you'll go to the Clayface. Say, Clayface, do you want to use your special ability? Once again, you are going to be putting 5 cards down at the table because you want to make it so that each go-around takes roughly the same amount of time and makes the exact same amount of noise. This is the most difficult part of the game, especially for the moderators, because some of these face down cards are a little bit trickier than some of the other cards. And as the moderator, you really got to be on the beat, because let's say, for instance, it takes a really long time for the Riddler, during the night phase, and then somebody gets subdued. Well, instantly the Riddler is going to look like Batman. So we'll talk about that in the pros and cons, but the moderator really has to be doing his job well. But during the nighttime phase, if you have if you have the hand you need in order to complete your face down card, like, which one is it? Like these ones right here, then you'll hand all 5 of your cards to the moderator. You don't get to keep any of them, so even if you only have 3 of a kind, you hand all 5 of your cards to the moderator, you get a new 5-card hand, you do whatever it is on your card, maybe that's subduing somebody else, maybe that's protecting somebody else, various different stuff like that, and then it will get to the daytime phase. And the moderator will announce what happened. Was someone subdued? Was someone not subdued? And then the brains will pass to the player on the left, and you will rinse, wash, and repeat. You continue to go until either Batman is subdued, Catwoman has done her full house thing, or until Batman has subdued enough of the bad guys to win, at which point that will be the end of Batman Almost Got Him, the card game. And that in a nutshell is how it's played. Alrighty then, Batman Almost Got Him from Cryptozoic. What are my final thoughts? Let's go over the pros, let's go over the cons. First, on the con side, the game's not going to be for everybody for a variety of different reasons. First and foremost, 5 to 8 players might be a difficult player count to get people to, especially considering you really need 6 players because one person has to be the moderator. And that's another big con. A lot of people do not like Werewolf for that exact reason, that you have to have a moderator to play this game, which is another con, that being the moderator, a lot falls on your shoulders. You single-handedly can screw up the game or make the game great. So you need to have a good moderator in order to do that, and some people just don't like that kind of pressure to be put on them. Another comment I have with this game is that it's one of those games where you really need to get a player or 2 beneath your belt before you're like, oh, I see what's going on. Because when you first start and you're playing the game and the moderator can't help you out too much because they know a bunch of secret information, you're just like, I don't know, I guess I accuse you? When do I use this special ability? What's the point of this? Why do I care about that? And that's just part of the ebb and flow of the game. Now, one thing I forgot to mention in the middle part, which is pretty important, is knowing what all the different roles are. Because Batman is actually going to know one of the roles that is not included in the game. So they can always fall back to saying, oh, I'm this role, in case anybody asks. However, that was one thing that is also a con, because they only include one little role reference cards, and everyone really needs this. This needs to be for everybody. They need to have, 8, I'd say even 9 almost copies of this in the game, because having one in front of you, you can be like, all right, so let's see, he told me this, so he's either the sneaky or he's crafty. He hasn't played anything, so he might be the healer. So I really wish that they would have had an extra player reference card for everybody, and I might actually just print some out, because it is definitely beneficial to the game to know all the different roles and what all of them can do. Another comment I had is some people complained about how some of the special abilities, some of the blackout abilities just felt a little bit better than other people's. I agree that some feel better than everybody else's, but at the same time, it's a cooperative game, so I feel like it kind of works out, because everybody has their own unique different role that they need to fill, and I did like that aspect of the game. Last but not least, if you don't like Batman, or you don't like hidden role games, this one might not be for you, because the Batman theme comes across very, very strongly in this game, and I'll talk about that, obviously, in the pros, because for most people, that's going to be a pro. Any other cons? No. Moving on to the pros, I love this game. I really, really like this game, and I feel like this is the kind of game that the more I play it, the more I'm going to like it. This one really caught me off guard. I read the rules, and I was like, ooh, this sounds weird. And we did have a game that was a complete train wreck for various different reasons, mostly because of bad moderating. But we started to learn how to do it, and how to do the moderating, how to do the nighttime phase, so everybody made noise. And I started to make it so that I spent about an equal amount of time between each people, because yeah, some guy might not do anything on his turn. But instead of just making that a 5-second nighttime turn, I would just sit there and, kind of scribble down or shuffle cards or something for an extra 5 or 10 seconds. And you learn those slight little nuances the more you play the game as the moderator. But also as players in the game, you really start to understand the different roles and how they work together in the game. And once you start cooperating, it puts so much pressure on Batman. I also love the Catwoman role. That is such a cool concept, that she is not a villain. She is there either to win for herself or to win with Batman. So Batman, unknowingly, might have someone who could potentially be on his side, but at the same time, she's still working for herself until she gets subdued. I really like that. And once you get that full house, that's really an interesting dichotomy there where you're like, okay, I want to be subdued by other people, so I want to act kind of like Batman, but not too blatantly like Batman, because then they might think I'm Catwoman. I like that aspect an awful lot. I feel like this game has just enough information going around the table. I felt like it was pretty decently balanced. You know, I'm not normally the biggest fan of screen caps on cards, but I feel like with the animated series, you know, it really does fit. And this does justice to the outstanding Batman animated episode. Just overall, Batman almost got him the card game. If you get to higher player counts on a routine basis, and if you like Batman, and if you don't mind someone being a moderator and they can moderate well, this is a fantastic game that I can highly recommend. This is going straight on my shelf. This is going to be going with me whenever they say, oh, I think we got about 6, 7, 8 people playing. I'll be like, all right, I'm bringing this game. It's fun as a moderator to watch other people, at least for some people. I personally enjoy moderating games almost as much as I love playing them. And just overall, this is a no-brainer. Batman almost got him. Really enjoyed this game if you can get to the higher player counts and if you can find a moderator. If you enjoyed this review, please be sure to click on that subscribe button down below in the comments below. Let me know if you could be one Batman villain, who would you be? Let me go through here. I'm trying to think. Are any of them rich? Oh, he's ugly, though. You know what? I think I'd probably be the Riddler. Like, he doesn't look like he's a bad-looking guy. I'm sure he's got enough intelligence that he probably could find some way to rob a bank and then just retire. So yeah, I would be the Riddler. Which Batman villain would you like to be? Let me know in the comments below. Ooh, the Joker gets to date Harley Quinn. That's pretty cool. But then you look all weird with the bleached face and the scars. Yeah, I think I'd still go with the Riddler. But let me know in the comments below. And as always, thanks for your time, YouTube.